Hello and welcome to Germany, where we have the new facelifted BMW X1. And in this video, we're going to tell you everything that's new with this car and the plug-in hybrid version that's also going to be coming out in the UK a little bit later on. But before we get started, please make sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have loads of videos that come out every single week. And if you do want to buy a new car and you want to save some money, then you better go to whatcar.com because in less than 60 seconds, we can tell you exactly how much we can save you off your next new car, and it could be thousands. So the facelift has brought some exterior styling changes for the X1, and we're going to talk through those first. So starting at the front of the car, it has a new front bumper design and also a bigger kidney grille, because that's very much on trend for BMW at the minute, isn't it? We've seen it on loads of other of their models. They've got big old kidney grilles at the front of the car. So the X1 has slightly bigger, not quite X7 size, but bigger than before. And also you can see you've got a new LED headlight design as well, so it's more defined and hexagonal than before. And also there's some new fog lights down there. Before they were round and now they're square. So if we come round again, you can see there's also 4 new alloy wheel designs to choose from. So you have 2 19-inch wheel designs and 2 18-inch wheel designs. And the paint, now you may recognize this because it's been available on the BMW X2 before, but now you can get it as an option on the X1. You also have a brand new grey, which you can get on the X1, and there's also a beige, which we've seen before on the 2 Series Active Tourer, and now that's available as an option on the X1. Now, if you come around to the back of the car, you can see it gets a new full LED tail light design as well, all in this one light bar, which is different from before. And you also have bigger exhaust tail pipes down at the bottom. And if we come round, you can also see that now, standard on X-Line and M Sport models, when you unlock the car, you can see there's a projector from this door mirror, which gives you a nice X1 logo on the floor. So now we're going to take a look inside the car and see what's new there. Okay, so inside the new X1, it's really not that different from before, but that isn't a problem. But the main changes that you have are on the higher spec models, you have this contrast stitching on the dashboard. And also, if you are in a car that has that LED projection from the door mirrors, then you also have the opportunity to change the LED lights on the inside. Now you could do that before on the X1, but on this facelifted model, you now have more colours to choose from for changing the colour. So for example, we're on a nice orange now, but how about we just change that to green? And that's all very simply done through this brilliant infotainment system. Now, on the previous X1, the biggest screen size you could get was 8.8 inches. On the facelifted X1, 8.8 is the smallest size that you can get, and now you can option this bigger 10.25 inch infotainment touchscreen. And it is brilliant. This really is one of the best infotainment systems on the market in any class. BMW's iDrive has just been way ahead of the game for a very long time now, and it's no different on this facelifted X1. And really, apart from that, elsewhere in the interior, it's the X1 interior that we liked from before the facelift. So that means brilliant build quality everywhere, really nice materials, and as I say, a top-notch infotainment system. So now we have another facelifted X1, but you can see this one is slightly different from the one we had before because it's plugged in and it's charging, because this is the xDrive 25e. So it has a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder petrol engine, but it also has a 9.7 kilowatt hour lithium-ion battery. And it can travel on pure electric power for up to around 34 miles on WLTP, and also it will reach a top speed just with electric power of around 84 miles per hour. This is quite a good opportunity for BMW to really make its mark in this segment, because there isn't much competition for plug-in hybrid family SUVs. And in fact, we've got an i3 over here, and you can see that BMW were explaining the i3 and the i8 were both very much, wow, look at me, I'm driving a green car, and the styling was quite divisive among buyers. And so BMW were kind of explaining that a lot of their customers don't necessarily want to shout about the fact that they've got a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid. So they've deliberately toned down their styling for plug-in hybrid SUVs like this X1 here. And in fact, there's no difference at all to point out apart from the charge port at the front of the car. But the difference inside is the rear seats, because the battery has gone underneath them, which means they do sit a little bit higher. So if I get in the back here, you do have less room than on a non-hybrid, but it's still pretty impressive in the back. Certainly legroom's not an issue, and headroom, even with this sunroof, is still pretty good for an adult, so you should be able to sit in here for long distances. It does also cut into the boot space a little bit, so maybe we can try and show you that here. You can see there's not much in the way of underfloor storage beyond here because that's where the battery is, but you can see it's still a reasonable size for a family SUV and pretty impressive. So, unfortunately, we can't drive this car yet because it's a pre-production model, but we are going to go for a spin in the facelifted petrol. So on the road in the BMW X1, there isn't really anything new to report because the engines have been carried over and there haven't been any mechanical upgrades, so it's the same suspension, same steering. So it means that the ride is still a bit on the firm side, but it's at least well controlled, and it's a very good car to drive by the class standards. The big standout news for the X1 on the road will be when we get a chance to drive the plug-in hybrid to see exactly what that's like. But until then, this is still the X1 package that we liked from before, but now with the chance of a bigger infotainment screen and some slight exterior changes as well. So the steering is weighty and precise, and by the class standards, this is certainly one of the better cars to drive, with pleasing agility, albeit with a firm yet livable ride. And while that firmness is more noticeable around town, it does smooth out on the motorway. However, refinement is a weakness at all speeds. There's a fair bit of road raw, and the stop-start system could be a bit smoother too. In the UK, there will be front-wheel drive, S-Drive, and four-wheel drive, X-Drive models. Previous experience suggests S-Drive models are all you need unless you live up a snow-capped mountain. And the choice of petrol and diesel engines is carried over from the outgoing model. So the S-Drive 18D will most likely remain the pick of the range, offering more grunt than the petrols, but better running costs than the more powerful X-Drive 20D. Oh, and by the way, the X-Drive 25i that we're driving isn't actually going to the UK. So this facelift is more of a subtle reinvigoration for the X1 rather than a comprehensive rework. The Range Rover Evoque and Volvo XC40 continue to lead the way in the class as brilliant all-rounders, but the X1's practicality and excellent interior means it should still be of consideration, while the plug-in hybrid version could help it stand out further. So if you want to read our extended written review of this car and every other new and used car on sale, go to whatcar.com. And if you've enjoyed this video, then please give us a like. If you've got any questions about the car, leave a comment and we'll get back to you. And make sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have loads of great new videos coming out every single week. And of course, if you're in the market for a new car, then make sure you go to walkaround.com to get the very best deal. It really will take you less than 60 seconds to find out exactly how much we can save you.